A new giant interstellar traveler has entered our solar system, so enormous and bright that astronomers describe it as almost 100 times larger and brighter than three Atalantas. It was first discovered on September 12, 2025, using the SWAN instrument installed on the SOHO spacecraft. This discovery immediately triggered a wave of global observations. For 48 hours, Australian comet hunter Michael Matiatsu captured a stunning image that left scientists speechless. It was not just another visitor from the abyss. It was something completely different. A spectacle racing towards the sun with such force that it eclipsed all known observations of comets in recent times. His sudden appearance has already sparked debates among astronomers, some of whom have called it the most significant interstellar object discovered since Oumuamua. Researchers suggest that its emergence coinciding with the three Atalantas approaching their solar collision cannot be a coincidence. Its physical characteristics are also impressive. The tail of the newcomer stretched almost 2.5 degrees across the sky, about 5 times wider than the full disk of the moon as seen from Earth. Against this dazzling light, the thin thread of the tail of three Atlantas appears almost insignificant, like the trace of a single match compared to a forest fire. The enormous size of this tail indicates a colossal expulsion of material or energy, significantly exceeding what an ordinary comet could produce. Some astronomers even suggest that this may not just be evaporation from solar heating, but a more controlled or directed phenomenon. Its brightness and sharply defined tail make it one of the most visually striking objects ever captured by both amateur and professional telescopes. A shining spear tearing through the cosmic darkness. The International Astronomical Union quickly classified and named this object, assigning it the designation C 2025 R2 SWAN in honor of the instrument that discovered it. Originally known as SWAN 25b, its official name secured its place in astronomical records, but the name did not lessen the number of questions. Unlike the three Atlanteans, which come from the area near the galactic core, the origin point of SWAN is radically different. He crashed into our system from the constellation Aquarius, having a completely different trajectory, making the idea that they are fragments of the same body nearly impossible. This independence deepens the mystery. Two independent interstellar objects arriving in our solar system months apart, both on a path to meet the sun almost simultaneously, causing confusion in the scientific community. Can two such wanderers really appear one after the other after an era of silence? Or are we witnesses to something coordinated, some cosmic event that exceeds our understanding? This feeling of temporal connection troubles astronomers the most. The SWAN will approach the sun at a minimum distance, its perihelion, about 150 million kilometers away. In a few days, three Atalantas will pass at a distance of 203 million kilometers. On a cosmic level, the difference between them is barely noticeable, only about 50 million kilometers, and this distance continues to decrease under the influence of gravitational forces that gradually alter their speeds. In October 2025, both objects will briefly disappear from the view of all ground telescopes, engulfed by the dazzling light of the sun. When they reappear, their trajectories may change forever, and one of them may not return at all. Astronomers prepare for what could be an unprecedented natural experiment. Two interstellar travelers, possibly communicating, maneuvering, or even colliding out of our sight. Whatever happens in these hidden weeks near the sun, it could change our understanding of comets, interstellar material, and perhaps even of intelligent design in the universe. As both interstellar objects approach the center of the solar system, time becomes increasingly ominous. The perihelion SWAN, its closest approach to the sun, will be about 150 million kilometers, nearly equal to the distance of Earth's orbit. In just a few days, the 3I Atlas will follow him, passing by the sun at a distance of about 203 million kilometers. Considering that the distance between them barely reaches 50 million kilometers, it may seem significant by human standards, but on a cosmic level, it is equivalent to two bullets flying inches apart. Even more alarming is that at this critical moment, both objects will disappear from sight, hiding behind the bright disk of the sun. For several weeks, no telescope on Earth will be able to track them. It seems that the universe itself has drawn the curtain, leaving humanity blind to what is about to happen. Astronomers prepare for this blackout with a mix of fear and anticipation. When the two visitors appear again on the other side, their trajectories may be radically altered, indicating whether they interacted gravitationally or perhaps in some other way that no one suspects. Will they accelerate, decelerate, or completely change their trajectories? Some even speculate about the possibility of a close collision, or, even more dramatically, a crash. If any object breaks apart near perihelion, The resulting debris could crash into the inner solar system, creating a spectacular meteor shower or posing a threat to satellites and spacecraft. Whatever the outcome, the October window represents a unique alignment, and its consequences may extend far beyond astronomy. However, what is most concerning is that these objects seem to possess unusual properties. Data from Tri-Eye Atlas has already shocked the scientific community. Spectroscopy shows that its composition mainly consists of pure nickel. The absence of iron, which is usually found in natural meteorites, is enough to spark a heated discussion. But it is the data on energy emissions that truly alarmed the researchers. Scientists recorded emissions corresponding to a stable energy source with a power of 10 gigawatts, hidden deep within an object, comparable to the operation of 50 nuclear power plants simultaneously. Even stranger is that its tail does not behave like a typical comet's vapor. Instead of chaotic dispersal of sublimated ice, its emissions form a narrow, collimated stream, as if controlled. The flow is constant, at a fixed speed, and at perihelion its color sharply changes from red to green, which Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb calls thrust modulation. In his opinion, the object not only releases gas but actively controls its movement, adjusting its trajectory as solar heating increases. If Atlas's three eyes resemble a probe, then SWANR2 represents something far more powerful. Initial observations show that around its core, a shell of highly ionized plasma is formed, creating a dazzling barrier capable of deflecting charged particles from the solar wind. Unlike the passive comet's coma, this shield appears to oscillate dynamically, as if adjusting in real time. Its enormous glowing tail, stretching 5 full moons, indicates the immense power of its emissions. Even more surprisingly, small periodic changes in brightness were detected, hinting at bursts of controlled thrust. These light pulses correspond to what one would expect from a highly efficient plasma engine that gently yet precisely propels an object along its path. Spectral analysis also revealed traces of nickel-cobalt plasma mixed with carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, a chemical mixture not corresponding to any known natural processes. Achieving such a mixture would require temperatures and magnetic compression exceeding anything that occurs spontaneously in comets. And then there's the core itself. If the output of 10 gigawatts from Atlas's three eyes was shocking, then the core of SWAN is astonishing. Its energy levels are designed to exceed 10,000 gigawatts every second. For comparison, this is almost the total energy consumption of human civilization, compressed into a single interstellar machine. Some theorists compare it to the release of energy during black hole mergers, reduced but perfectly contained. If Atlas's three eyes are a scout, then SWAN is a fortress, a leviathan crossing the abyss on a mission that is hard to classify. The SWAN core is said to generate more than 10,000 gigawatts every second, an amount of energy so colossal that it overshadows all of Earth's electrical consumption by orders of magnitude. This is not just a comet nucleus, it is a controlled energy source, a reactor that hums at a level we can barely imagine. If such a device really exists, it implies a technology capable of sustaining, regulating, and containing energy on a scale comparable to cosmic events. The idea that an object can traverse interstellar space, survive for tens of thousands of years, and then activate or glow brightly just as it approaches our sun suggests a system that is not only resilient but also intelligent. The plasma surrounding SWAN flares up like a living organism, bending the solar wind around it as if shaping its own environment. Observers describe the behavior of this object as reactive, as if it is aware of its surroundings and responds to changes in conditions. When its brightness pulses at certain intervals, it is no longer just random emissions, but rather resembles communication or, at least, a working cycle. Overall, this object has ceased to be merely a guest from another star system. This engineering creation, a vessel with a specific purpose, arrived at a predetermined time. Its orbital characteristics add to the mystery. NASA and JPL calculations indicate that SWAN is not a one-time visitor like Oumuamua, but rather a returning traveler trapped in a cycle lasting approximately 22,554 years. This means that the last time he approached the sun, humanity was just beginning to emerge from the last ice age, starting to experiment with agriculture and build the first stone monuments. If this data is correct, then SWAN has visited us before. Perhaps many times, Each appearance is separated by such long intervals that entire civilizations have risen and fallen during this time. The thought that such an object quietly moves along the same path around our star for a time exceeding recorded history raises troubling questions. Is this merely a natural orbital resonance, or has the trajectory been intentionally maintained for millennia? Here begins a space for speculations that overshadow science. Many researchers now claim that we may be dealing with more than just a simple cometary body. Instead, these objects could be autonomous probes capable of self-repair and self-navigation, designed to operate on cosmic timescales. The Triatlas, with its strange nickel composition and controlled emissions, could have been a scout sent ahead to gather data or transmit information. SWAN, with its colossal power and plasma shield, could be the next stage, a larger, more powerful device arriving to gather information, replenish resources, or carry out a mission started thousands of years ago. For civilizations capable of such feats, millennia could mean nothing. For them, returning every 22,000 years could be as routine as scheduled maintenance, a planned trip through the inner solar system. The possibility that this is a coordinated mission adds a frightening aspect. Some theorists suggest that SWAN may be here to retrieve Triatlas, absorb its data, dismantle it, or even neutralize it once its mission is complete. Others claim that these objects may not even belong to the same faction. What if they are rival probes converging on the sun to fight over some resource we cannot yet comprehend? Its magnetic field, the potential for gravitational lensing, or raw energy output. For them, our star could be a cosmic beacon, an energy station, or a gateway to something far beyond human perception. No matter what the truth is, the approach of two interstellar ships over several days seems less like a coincidence and more like choreography. Something is happening on a scale we are just beginning to understand. Some researchers have gone further and suggested that the most enduring monuments of humanity may not just be works of art or religious worship, but cosmic records. These are warnings from an era when our ancestors could see similar objects shining in the sky. The last time it was believed that the SWAN R2 comet passed close to the sun was about 22,000 years ago. At the end of the last ice age, this coincides with one of the most dramatic changes in human history: the sudden emergence of agriculture, monumental stone structures, and the first attempts at mapping the stars. Structures like the Great Pyramid, Göbekli Tepe, and the perfectly aligned megaliths at Stonehenge have long puzzled archaeologists with their incredible precision. Many of these sites contain shafts or alignments that point to key stars and constellations, especially Orion. Were these builders simply enchanted by the night sky, or were they marking a recurring event they had witnessed? This idea is frightening. An ancient civilization, possibly much more advanced than we assume, observed a celestial visitor with a bright tail stretching across 5 moons. They could understand that he would return not after years or centuries, but in cycles so long that they had to capture the memory in stone, leaving a message for distant descendants who might see it again. Pyramid shafts, stone circles, even ancient calendars tracking precession may be more than just cultural curiosities. They could be beacons warning us of the start of the next cycle when the sky again becomes home to these great travelers. If this is true, then what we are observing now is not a coincidence. It is a continuation of a pattern known to humanity for millennia, forgotten and rediscovered only when the cycle repeats. This feeling of anxiety is heightened by the relevance of current events. In the last decade, we have witnessed 3 major anomalies. Oumuamua in 2017, the first known interstellar object passing through our solar system, Three Eyes Atlas with its anomalous nickel composition and nuclear core, and now SWAN-R2, which seems even more impressive. Harvard researchers, including Avi Loeb, suggested that this may not be a coincidence. For over 50 years, humanity has been sending signals into space: television broadcasts, radio transmissions, planetary radar, and intentional messages like the Arecibo message and Voyager's golden records. These transmissions now cover dozens of nearby star systems, forming a constantly expanding bubble of electromagnetic noise. Perhaps we have silently announced our presence to those who listen in the dark. If so, what we are witnessing now may be the response. First, Oumuamua appeared, quiet, dark, and moving swiftly, as if merely observing. Then 3 objects emerged, their behavior becoming significantly more active. Perhaps they were gathering detailed data or even scanning the environment. And now on the screen appeared Avest, a powerful device that resembles a command ship more than a scout. If this is truly a sequence of events, then perhaps humanity is experiencing the first contact, but not as described by science fiction, with greetings and landings, but in the form of an audit. The civilization may not respond in words. It can respond to machines sent across the abyss of space to explore, measure, and make decisions. And when both objects disappear behind the sun in October, humanity will wait, blind, for what will appear on the other side. Perhaps they will just pass by and disappear into the void, leaving us with more questions than answers. Or maybe their course will change, and their mission will truly begin. What may be most unsettling is the silence. Despite the scale of these discoveries, public discussion from the leading space agencies of the world was surprisingly restrained. NASA, ESA, JPL. None of them made more than cautious statements, and no government dared to consider these coinciding events as a global issue. It seems that humanity as a whole has decided that the less we acknowledge, the less we will have to confront it. But silence does not make the cosmos any less active.